Good evening, Wood County, and welcome to your BG24 Sports Highlight Show. I'm Jerome White. With me tonight is my co-host, Zach Carrion. In our Around the Horn segment, we will be joined by Ryan Strobeck of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization.
Tonight, we'll be analyzing the BGSU football game this past Saturday, followed by a quick recap of women's soccer against Buffalo yesterday. Stay tuned. We have it all here on the BG24 Sports Highlight Show.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
The Falcons opened up MAC play this past Saturday with a 28-22 victory over the Buffalo Bulls. With this win, the Falcons improved their record to 3-2. Bowling Green totaled 212 yards on the ground and 324 yards passing. Quarterback Matt Johnson and receiver Roger Lewis were two main components in this victory.
BGSU receiver Roger Lewis continued his great season this week, putting up more impressive numbers. Roger Lewis had 10 receptions. With those receptions, he racked up more than 200 receiving yards and one touchdown. Lewis is currently leading the nation in receiving yards with a total of 760 on the year.
Although Roger Lewis had a big day receiving against Buffalo, someone had to throw the ball his way, and that someone is quarterback Matt Johnson. Here we'll take a look at some of the numbers that the Falcon quarterback had. Johnson completed 79% of his passes, going 23 of 29 for 324 yards with one touchdown. Johnson also had a rushing touchdown in the game. Matt Johnson has started the season on fire and is now one of the top passers in the nation with more than 2,000 yards passing this year. Let's take a look ahead at the Falcons' football schedule for the coming weeks. The Falcons will be at home the next 2 weeks when they take on the University of Massachusetts and the University of Akron. Following their homestand, they'll travel to Kent State to take on their rivals, the Golden Flashes. After their Kent State matchup, the Falcons will take on the Ohio University Bobcats. Then, in the later weeks of the season, the Falcons will have to prepare for a road game against Western Michigan.
Looks like the Falcons are going to have their work cut out for them. How do you think the season will go so far, Jerome?
I think the season can go real good for the Falcons this year. They have a high-power offense, and they show that they can be a balanced offense. They don't have to just throw the ball or just run the ball to be dynamic. Like I said, they had 212 yards rushing, and that was mixed between two different running backs with Fred Coppett and Travis Green. And then you have Matt Johnson into the picture, started the season off on fire with 4 straight 400-yard passing games and still had 324, I believe, this past game. So, and Roger Lewis with his third 200-yard receiving game. This is a powerful offense, and I don't see any team in the MAC competing with that offense.
Yeah, and a powerful offense and a defense that has been improving so far. They started out kind of slow, but, the defense is really starting to get their stride going. They're starting to, stop teams now, and now the offense can do their thing.
When you look at it, though, that offense, they score so fast, the defense spends a lot of time on the field. So that might be part of the reason why the defense was struggling. But the season games will start slowing down once the weather changes. So we'll see how the offense and the defense reacts to the new weather.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see them take on a team like Toledo. Two very, very good teams.
Yeah, and Toledo's one of the better teams in the nation, so we shall see.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see how the season plays out. The BGSU women's soccer team hosted their MAC opponent Buffalo this past Sunday and won by a score of 2-1. The Falcons scored 2 in the second half to come away with the victory after what looked like a very close game. The Falcons came into the match coming off a 3-0 win against the Akron Zips 2 days earlier. Junior Kara Ross scored in the 49th minute for BG. Redshirt freshman Erica Hubert scored late in the 88th minute to seal a victory for the Falcons. Bowling Green is now 6-5-1 overall in the MAC Conference and 2-2 in the MAC Conference. The women are set to play the Rockets in Toledo this coming Friday. It was a very exciting game. It started out 0-0 at halftime, and then they traded goals. BG scored 1. Buffalo scored 1. It was looking like it was probably going to end in a draw. And then Erica Hubert in that 88th minute with almost no time left, she kicks it, it bounces off the goalkeeper, and then it just starts bouncing, then just rolls into the goal. And it was really exciting to see because, everyone was getting up once they saw that ball roll. It was really exciting.
Yeah, I know it wasn't exciting for the goalie to see that ball rolling around like that. You think it's not going to go in, and then boom, it just goes in. So, the Falcons are improving though. You can see the improvement over the past couple of weeks. They started off kind of slow this season. Started off 0-2 in MAC play, but just have a little win streak going for them. Some momentum.
Yeah, 2-game win streak, and you're starting to see them control the ball more and starting to score, which is exactly what you want to see. And they're about to go further into MAC. They could do pretty well, and then they got the MAC tournament at the end of the year. And who knows? This tournament, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in the tournament. So we shall see how the Falcons end this season.
Yes, we will.
Stay tuned for our Around the Country, our weekly discussion and about the hottest topics in the national sports. Ryan Strobeck of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization will be joining us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to our discussion and debate segment called Around the Country. I'm joined by Jerome Wright and Ryan Strobeck today. All right, so we got a couple topics here. We got Ohio State, still number one in the country, but should they be? And then we got the best team in the NFL. Who is it? I don't know. Well, I do know, but we'll get to that. And then we got Tristan Thompson's holdout with the Cavaliers. Will he stay? Will he go? Is he right? Is he wrong? So let's start off with college football and Ohio State. Ohio State played a close game against Indiana, which is not the top-tier opponent that you expect them to have a close game against. Now, they still have a good team. You know, we see them, like last year, they won easily. Not easily, but, you know, they really competed with the best teams in the nation, and it was kind of unexpected to see them win the championship. This year, they're going into the season as the favorite. But as you see, you know, other teams are playing well, and they're not playing so well. But I still think they're number one. Now, Ryan, I think you have something to say about that.
Yeah. Right now, they do not look like the number one team in the nation. They have not faced very good opponents, and they are barely scraping by for what the type of opponents they're playing. I mean, they were expected to dominate every game they came in this year. I mean, you talk about their quarterback situation, Cardell Jones and JT Barrett, who is going to be the quarterback. Neither of them has shown so much to prove that they should be the starting quarterback. Right now, Ohio State is not playing like a number one team in my books. And you understand that a win is a win, yes, but in college football, it's the way you win. We've seen teams before win and still drop in the rankings. And right now, Ohio State's just not playing like the number one team everybody expected.
But, I mean, like you said, a win's a win. And, you know, regardless, if they're winning, they should still be number one. Now, they haven't won in the best, you know, fashion, but it wins a win, and they still got the best players in the nation. I think Zeke Elliott's the best player in the nation, flat out. But, Jerome, I don't know, maybe you got something to say about this, too.
Well, yeah. Ezekiel Elliott isn't the best player in the nation. Leonard Fournette is the best player in the nation right now. Let's get that off the table. But Ohio State, they don't deserve to be number one. Why? They're only number one because they're defending champs. If they weren't the defending champs, would they still have that number one ranking? No, I don't believe they would. Because of the fact of the teams that they're playing and the way that they're struggling to beat these teams, you have, what did they have, 3 Heisman candidates to start the season?
Yep.
And who's playing like a Heisman other than Ezekiel Elliott? You know, and then you have Indiana. Indiana was supposed to win that game. Honestly, if it wasn't for a bad snap, that game would have been over with. So I don't think Ohio State is playing. They're not playing like a number one team, but maybe they can pick up their competition level. Maybe they're not taking these opponents serious. We don't know. But we'll see as the season progresses. But right now, I don't think they're the best team in the nation.
Well, you know, maybe they're not playing like it, but I still think Cardell Jones has the opportunity to improve. I mean, he's shown flashes that he can be a great elite quarterback, and I think, you know, he can maybe pick it up at the end of the year. And I would still put them against the best teams in the nation, and I think they would still come out on top. But moving on to the NFL, so we're like 4 or 5 weeks into the season, and we're starting to see the cream rise to the top, and we got the elite teams in the NFL. In my opinion, the Patriots are the best team in the NFL right now. Tom Brady is playing out of his mind. That offense is explosive. Gronkowski is ridiculous. He just scores. They win. They score. They've beaten everybody. I think they're the best team. Jerome, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. They are outscoring everyone. They're just beating everybody. But do not sleep on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are playing in one of the tougher conferences, in one of the tougher divisions in the nation. And they're also, that offense is looking good. Andy Dalton is playing at a high level. We've seen with A.J. Green, they have a 2-headed monster in the backfield. That defense is playing at an elite level. If any team in the AFC can compete with the Patriots right now, I'm saying it's the Bengals. And I know you guys might not agree with me saying that. It probably caught you off guard. But
Jerome, you got to be kidding. The Bengals? Andy Dalton? Are you kidding me?
The Bengals. Don't sleep
the
on
Red Rocket? No. The Red Rocket's not an elite quarterback. The Bengals are not an elite team.
He's playing like right now,
no,
man.
They're playing in the AFC North with the weakest division I've ever seen. Okay?
The weakest
Pittsburgh
you've ever
Steelers, done. Ravens, done. Browns.
Now watch,
okay?
8 weeks from now, you're going to come back like, Jerome, you were right about those Bengals.
No, you're not going to be right about those Bengals, okay? Maybe they'll make the playoffs by default because their division's so weak.
And I'm a Browns fan. I hate the Bengals, but I'm seeing
maybe the Bengals are top 10. Maybe the Bengals are top 10. But Ryan, What? What's up, man?
Well, I mean, he said Andy Dalton's an elite quarterback. Aaron Rodgers must be like top of the top then. I mean, Packers are unbelievably good. They have a top-tier defense. Talk about they are top 10 in yards per game and points per game allowed on defense. And you add that with Eddie Lacy and Aaron Rodgers, there's no way you can stop this team right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're Super Bowl winners this year because the Packers are just that good. Aaron Rodgers is putting up numbers, and they don't even have their best receiver in Jordan Nelson. You want a good team? Look at the Packers.
You know, I'll give you that, Ryan. Packers are playing pretty good, all right? But they're still not quite Patriot level, okay? Tom Brady is still the best quarterback in the NFL, still the best team. Green Bay's pretty good. We'll see how that plays out at the end of the season. Moving on to Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson wants a max contract from the Cleveland Cavaliers. They don't want to give it to him. Why? Because he's definitely not worth it. Tristan Thompson, he's coming off the bench, is definitely going to come off the bench next year. We got Kevin Love at his position, obviously a better player. Tristan Thompson, he's just not a max player. Jerome, what do you think?
I think he wants max money because he sees players like Draymond Green and Reggie Jackson getting $80 million contracts. Tristan Thompson has never averaged over 10 points a game in his career. So what do you think you deserve $94 million? That's Kyrie Irving money, you know. That's more than John Wall is making. Why do you feel like you deserve that much money? The man just take his $50 million contract extension, which I still feel is too much for him, a player of his caliber, but I guess Rich Paul knows what he's doing. He does manage LeBron James as well, so he's trying to get him big money.
Yeah, you're right. He's averaging 8 points per game and 8 rebounds a game. Ryan, what do you think?
I think this is a distraction to the team, and it's just hurting Tristan Thompson in general. He has a lot of fans out there, and he's just disappointing them all. He's not worth the max contract, and he's not even worth the $80 million that the Cavs are giving him. He should just take the $80 million and run with it. Tristan Thompson's not a max player. He wants max money. He's just not a max player to me.
Yeah, and it's a huge distraction, okay? The Cavs are trying to win a championship. We can't have a guy coming off the bench making noise for no reason. He's just not worth it. That will end our segment of Around the Country. Thanks for joining us, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check out BG24 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, tune in tomorrow at 5:30 for our local news show. We will see you next week.